Hello fellow airplane collectors, welcome back to another video. It's your host Ray. Today I will be reviewing the United Airlines Boeing 737-700 in the new 2019 livery made by NG Model. This model is in 1:400 scale, and this was released in May of 2021 if I recall correctly. I'm very excited to make this video, and I don't want to keep you waiting for too long, so let's jump right into it. First I'll talk about the box very briefly though, and then I'll perform a in-depth analysis and discussion about the pros and cons of the model. And at the end of the video, I'll give you my personal opinion as an airplane collector about what I think of this model. So yeah, let's start. So here's the box. The box is made out of thin, I'm not even sure what it is, cardboard I believe it is, I'm not sure. But here's the box art, looks really nice. Take a moment to look at this. And I will now show you all around the box. If I go too quickly, feel free to pause the video to observe a certain part of the box for longer. So we'll start with the bottom. I personally really like the way they did the bottom here. Here's the right side. The left side, identical to the right. Here's the top. And here's the back. The back is basically identical to the front aside from all of the legal information and social media. Instead of the model registration as well as the manufacturer name. So if you want to read this, go for it, but I would like to continue the review. And if you hear some random banging, those are fireworks, and geez, these guys are getting crazy. Sorry for the interruption, let's continue. To open up the model, simply lift up one of the flaps on the left or right of the box, as shown here, and just pull out the model. As you can see, the model is secured with two pieces of clear plastic. To gain access to the model, just pull these apart. They should come apart relatively easily. And there should be a little plastic sheet covering the model, either over or under it, I'm not sure. And here's the model. It looks really gorgeous. I will give you now a quick 360 of the model so you can observe the features and details of it. And then after that, I will begin the in-depth review. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy. If you do not want to watch this part, feel free to skip ahead. And I don't know if I said this earlier, but if you want to pause and observe a certain detail for longer, by all means, feel free to do so. Generally speaking, the model is quite small, but that's what you should expect for a 1:400 scale model. The size is accurate to 1:400 scale though, so do not be concerned. Here are the model's dimensions. As you can tell, the measurements are in centimeters, so if you prefer to use a different unit, make your conversions accordingly. If you'd like to observe this page for a little longer, feel free to pause the video, but I am now going to continue the in-depth review. Starting up with the nose section of the fuselage, you can see the nose is molded quite nicely. The shape is very accurate, and it is like no other on the 1:400 scale market. Very high quality, and if you're very picky about the nose shape, this is definitely a model you'd want to buy because the nose shape is near flawless. I cannot recognize any errors. As you can see, there are quite a few printed details, including but not limited to the Star Alliance logo, the L1 door, as well as all of the windows and the fuselage details. And you can see this blue line right here is the connecting the world, uniting people. Did I just say that backwards? I'm not sure. There's that logo. And let's move on with the rest of the fuselage. Here is the large United title. Looks fantastic. There are no printing issues whatsoever. And the color is spot on. You may see the color as inaccurate on the video. However, I can tell you that in real life, the color is accurate. My camera is just crazy when it comes to displaying colors. Here's the rear section of the aircraft. You can see the registration is November 21723, and there is an American flag directly to the right of it. Both of those are printed nicely, and the American flag is actually highly detailed. It's barely visible, but it still looks really cool. And of course, the tail is painted absolutely amazing, as well as the shape of it. It's also very high quality, very good. And the colors are not what they seem. The colors you see on the camera right now are rather exaggerated and just wrong. They're different, just to say the least. And the fade here from the light blue to the dark blue, almost black, is done quite nicely, but it's not very noticeable, which that's not a complaint. That's actually kind of accurate. But for those of you who are picky about that, it's very good. It's still well within acceptable margins. Moving on to the rear of the aircraft, you can see the APU as well as the horizontal stabilizers. The horizontal stabilizers have the wing flex done correctly, so wing flex is not a problem for the horizontal stabilizers. And here's what they look like from above. You can see they're quite nicely detailed, but there's not really much to put on them, so they look kind of bare and just not very detailed. Here's the right side of the aircraft. I won't provide any commentary or analysis on this part of the aircraft because it is virtually identical to the left side, aside from a few printing differences. So if you'd like to observe this side or look for a certain detail, by all means, feel free to do so, but I'm going to continue the review. Very short interruption here, but here's my dog. She came to visit me in my desk room. Due to the fireworks that you heard earlier, she was scared, so she likes to come in here. Hey, do you like model airplanes? Now I'll talk about the wings. So here is the top of the left wing. Very highly detailed. Everything here is done very nicely. I have no complaints about it whatsoever. So take a moment to observe this if you'd like to. Yeah. So here's the top. As you can see, there's a lot of detail. And here's the bottom, or I'll try to show you the bottom. Also very detailed down here as well. Now I'd like to talk about a detail I'm extremely picky about, the wingtips. The wingtips are done fantastically, if that's a word. The wingtips are done very nicely, and the detail is quite cool. As you can see, this one is actually bent a little bit. The bottom scimitar tip is bent outwards a little. Here you can see the issue better. It's barely noticeable, honestly, and it's well within acceptable margins for me, so don't consider that a complaint. It's just something I noticed. And the right one's done even better. This is what it's supposed to look like, so yeah, take a moment to look at this if you'd like to. That's one of the shining points of this model. Out of the many that it has, the winglets are done absolutely they're very nice. They're fantastic. Time to talk about the engines. The engines are molded also very nicely, and you can see there's a lot of printed detail on them as well. Take a moment to look at that if you'd like to. The fan blades look good, just not very detailed. Obviously, this is a very small model, so I can't blame them. It's covered in a dark metallic gray on the inside of the engine, which looks very nice and very realistic. So that's actually a very good thing. Here's the exhaust section, also molded very nicely, painted in the same dark metallic color. Very nice overall. Here is a horrible attempt at showing you the bottom of the model. As you can see, very detailed here as well. I won't provide much commentary since I don't have much to say, so yeah, if you want to observe something, go for it, but I will continue with the review. You can see that there are 3 antennas down here, all of which are colored red. On the real life airplane, they are actually striped red and white, so if you do not appreciate that these are colored red, I then don't get this model. Up here there are also some details. As you can see, it's mostly smooth on the fuselage. However, up here there is 1 antenna and a Wi-Fi dome, both of which are attached and molded very nicely. As we approach the end of the review, I'd like to talk about the landing gear. The landing gear are molded amazingly. You can see that the wheels roll, and the nose wheel is very accurate, as you can see, as well as the main gear too. So take a moment to look at this. They're molded quite nicely, and when you set the model on the ground, there is no imbalance whatsoever. So very good quality control on the landing gear. Here you can check the model's balance as well as the main wing flex. All of these look good, so honestly, in my personal opinion, they're perfect. If you find any issues, then just take those into account. That concludes the in-depth analysis of the model. Overall, I think it's an amazing model, and I highly recommend it to any collector. The model is quite expensive, but overall, it is well worth it since all of the features on this model are quite amazing. And of course, it would be a crime to finish this video without mentioning the NG model United Airlines 737-800. This model is from the November 2020 release, and it is also just as amazing as this model. If you guys would like to see a comparison video of the two, by all means start commenting and I'll get that out as soon as possible. But that's all I have to say for today. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to check out my channel for more model airplane content. And if you want to show the channel some support, feel free to subscribe. That's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.